Welcome to our two-hour pregame show here on ASTV Productions to get you all ready for the CSSHL Game of the Month here tonight at Blackjack Stewart Arena between the U17 male prep Pilot Mound Hockey-Academy Buffaloes taking on the Edge School U17 prep team. We're in Blackjack Stewart Arena right now where the game is going to be happening at 7 p.m. I'm Graeme Forsyth. I'm going to be doing some play-by-play commentating tonight, along with my color guy, Cody Wall, joining us here, as well as Seth, Rach. And we're going to start off by recapping the earlier games that we saw today. 2 games have been played so far in today's action at Pilot Mound, Manitoba. 9-1, the Edge U17s beat the U17 male prep Buffaloes in the morning at that 10 a.m. game. And then early on in the afternoon, we saw the U15 prep Edge team take down the U15 male Buffaloes 11-1. Let's start off by recapping these games, boys. Just the stuff you saw from both teams out there in terms of the results of the game.
Looking at the prior 2 games, looked like getting shots on net were a bit of an issue, but they look to fix that going forward in the current game coming up. But Seth, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought both teams had a lot of good speed, and there was a lot of aggressive play, and I thought both penalty kills were also really good.
Just looking at it, Pilot Mound in both games getting outshot pretty heavily. We've talked about it earlier in the games today in our post-game, between periods. What do you think is going to have to change for Pilot Mound's U17 team to, get more offense in tonight's game?
One thing we kind of talked about in the prior game was trying not to force it up into the crowded areas. Seemed like a lot of the time puck was getting forced into, areas where there was 2-3 guys, edge players, and when you're trying to force play, it doesn't often end up in your favor.
Yeah, I saw one of the stuff you did. Make sure you're making those quick plays, like picking it up on the boards, rather than getting right to just make sure you have room before you pass.
Yes, we'll talk about the game coming up tonight later on in the show as we end off this 2-hour show. But talking about just the things that, stood out from Pilot Mound today, I know there wasn't a lot of positives from their team, but out of the positives, the small positives, what were some things that you took away from Pilot Mound's game?
Pilot Mound managed to get the first goal of the season with their early in the season. There was only their second game, managed to get one on the board, and in fact we actually have Pilot Mound's U17 goal scorer on the show later on today. Jack is going to be joining us on the show.
Yeah, I really like the power play here. They talk around to the I just thought it was really good power play.
Well, we're going to be talking to Jack Smith in just a moment here, but first we're going to be sending it to our first commercial break of the show. The one and only goal scorer from Pilot Mound's U17 has joined us right after this commercial break. You're watching this 2-hour pregame show here on ASTV Productions for the CSSHL Game of the Month.
Right here, this is good. Take it quickly, you gotta hold them up. You don't have to stand around the clock. You ready, buddy?
All right, I'm Cody Wall here with AST for Productions broadcast of the CSSHL Game of the Month. I'm brought here with Jack Smith of the Pilot Mound Buffalo. Jack, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. We've got a couple questions here just for our viewers. So one thing I wanted to ask you, who do you kind of model your game after?
I think guys like Elias Peterson, who are kind of more offensive threats, I think are good models for me.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Who are some of your role models that you look up to?
Obviously, you know, my parents. They've been very supportive of me, and they have to be people I look up to throughout my life, so yeah.
For sure. You know, this is your first year with the program. How has that transition been coming to the Prep Academy here?
Yeah, it's been really good. Meeting a lot of new friends, great guys on the ice every day, so it's been real positive so far.
For sure. So, is this your first time away from home? Now, I guess living in the dorms here, living all by yourself, that's got to be a new experience as well.
Yeah, it's new. It's been good. I'm liking it, but yeah, it's new.
That's good. What are some goals you have for the upcoming season?
Just have a good team season. That's, yeah, hopefully.
All right. What's one of your most memorable moments that you have playing hockey?
That's a tough one. Maybe probably winning just TOC when we were younger. I thought that was really fun.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. And one more question for you. What would you say one of your strongest features is in your game?
I think my skating's one of my strengths, so yeah, I'd have to go skating.
Definitely watching you out there today, that was one of your stronger features. We're going to send it to a commercial here. I was here with Jack Smith, and I'm Cody Wall with ASTV Productions. We're going to send it to a commercial break here.
Thank you.
Okay, Cody, you need to be 2 minutes longer. You're up. Yeah, you got to stretch. We may have to pull the next because Kevin has to start up. Oh, yeah.
Come through, people, come through.
Yeah, you have to stretch yours out, buddy. You're live.
Back here on our ASTV Productions 2-hour pregame show for the CSSHL Game of the Month, coming up here tonight at 7 p.m. on ASTV Productions between the Pilot Mound Hockey-Academy U17 male prep. Buffalo's taking on the Edges School U17 prep team. I'm Graeme Forsyth. I'm a reporter, a TV host, play-by-play commentator for ASTV Productions, joined by number 6, a third-year defenseman of the Pilot Mound Hockey-Academy U18 female prep, Buffalo's Devana Ditto. And Devana, starting off, the first thing I noticed that you were in crutches. What happened? I know you told me the story before, but tell our viewers about what happened to you, what injury you suffered.
So I have my patella is loose, so I had some fluid building up underneath my kneecap, and on Sunday it finally popped out. But I started physio, and I should be back on the ice for our next game, and hopefully back on the ice practicing next week.
What was the going through your mind when this happened? Because something pretty serious like this popping up, not even happening in the game, happening after, I'm sure you were devastated at the time.
Yeah, it was a little scary,
Yeah.
but I got to the hospital and it was dealt with pretty well, so it's under control now, and I'll hopefully be back soon.
That's good. Well, you said that you should be back for the team's next game, which we still got a bit of time before that happens. But, how are you feeling now since it's happened? You've had some time to recover and heal a bit.
I'm feeling pretty confident going into the game. I think with a couple practices back, I don't see any changes in my game, and I should be pretty good going into it.
So you're a third-year defenseman on
Yes,
the
I
team.
am.
Been here since 2019-2020. Take us through why you chose small-town Pilot Mound as that next place to play your hockey at.
Before I was in an academy in Banff, and Pilot Mound approached me at playoffs that year. I came out here for a tour in April, and I immediately loved the place. I loved all the coaching staff and everything, and we get to go on the ice at night. It's always available to come into the rink to put in extra work. And in a lot of places that always isn't an option.
Yeah.
So that was kind of my selling point for coming here.
Yeah, that's great to know that you found a place that really lines up with your values and what you want to enjoy doing. And hey, if you're going to play hockey, your favorite sport, why not do it where you love doing it here in Pilot Mound? Throughout these 3 years, you got your season last season cut short, so you've only had really one full season with the team. Just talk about what that first year was like playing for the Buffaloes.
I really loved it. There was a lot of traveling, a lot of games. I really loved the team that we had, the atmosphere. It was amazing. A lot of people, everybody was here and wanted to compete. I really enjoyed it.
That's great to hear. And talking about the team, the bonding with the girls, you guys see each other quite a bit on ice every day, in classes together. Just what's it been like getting to bond with the girls you've gotten to bond with throughout your years of being here at Pilot Mound?
It's definitely been an adjustment, seeing the same people every day, 24/7. But you begin to kind of become like family, so it's a pretty amazing thing. Lots of these girls I'll stay in contact with for a long time, and a lot of the girls are from where I live, so it's not like they're too far away.
Just in terms of people that haven't had a chance to watch you play, how would you describe yourself as a player out there as a defenseman?
I'm usually a pretty offensive defenseman. I like to skate the puck. This year I've been focusing a lot more on having solid defense. But yeah.
Yeah, great to hear. It's going to be fun to watch you and your offensive abilities this year once you get back healthy in the lineup. But, struggling a lot this team is to start off this season. A long season ahead. But what's the feeling been like among the girls so far this year in terms of just the mindset in the room so far?
For some of them, it's been a little harder of an adjustment. We do have a very new team. So being away from home, a lot of these girls, it's their first time. But honestly, everybody's had a pretty good attitude going into things. We're all here. We want to get better. We know the things that we need to work on, and so do our coaches. And it's every day coming to the rink and being consistent and working on it. And so far, everybody's been doing it.
Last thing before I let you go here, your final year in the academy, obviously looking to prove some things, wanting to get out there and play. What are you looking to achieve the most here in this last season with the academy?
Definitely moving on to university level hockey and getting some contact with those type of universities that I want to go to, so I can have a post-secondary education with hockey.
Well, good luck with that. I'm sure that some universities will be calling your name. And, best of luck to you and the team going forward in the season. You continue to heal up, and we'll see you out there very soon with the U18 Buffaloes. Thanks for coming on,
Thank you.
Savannah Ditto, number 6 of the Pilot Mound Hockey-Academy U18 Female Prep Buffaloes. I've been your interviewer for this segment, Graeme Forsyth. We're going to send it to a commercial break now, and after the break,
throw it to Theo and Kerry.
we're going to throw it to Theo and Kerry coming up here on the ASTV Productions CSSHL Game of the Month 2-hour pregame show. I've been Graeme Forsyth. Thanks for watching.
I put a screen up. That's my fault. Theo and Kerry live on the CSSHL show.
Well, good afternoon, Kerry. Good to see you. I love the background. Tell me a little story about what's going on behind you.
Hey, well, thank you a lot, Theo. I'm really excited about this. This is my first opportunity to be on the show and really looking forward to it. Well, I'll just stand back a little bit and you can take a peek. It was 100 years of hockey celebration. 1917 to 2017 was the NHL, I guess, the celebration of the NHL. And I had the opportunity to go down and be a part of it with Ron Ellis at the Hockey Hall of Fame. So they gave me this banner, and I'm really honored that I can be showing it to you on. It's got everybody. Like, you can name one player, Theo, and he's up there over that time frame of 1917 to 2017. The Gretz, Johnny Bauer's a great one. Gordie Howe, John Beliveau, Rod Gilbert, who we just recently lost, of course. An incredible poster. You know what? I'll send you a copy.
I would love to see it, Kerry. That looks fantastic. Probably got Toe Blake, Eddie Shore, some old-time hockey boys as well. Bobby Hall, the Jet, I'm sure is behind you as well. You got it. There you are, buddy.
Absolutely. No question.
If Kevin
So, Kerry,
Goodwin's
tell us,
like,
I
you
mean,
might throw Gordy on for a minute.
what do you know about the CSSHL, and what have you been able to see so far from any of the play that you've been able to check out in the recent month?
You gotta mute my mic.
Well, you know, I've been blessed to be involved with hockey. As you know, I'm from Winnipeg. And, of course, I enjoyed a fairly good career in the MMJHL and, of course, MJHL. And so I'm very comfortable with Winnipeg and, of course, Pilot Mound. My uncle lives out there, so I know exactly where that is. I didn't know much about the Pilot Mound Hockey-Academy, but I did get an opportunity to do some, due diligence, and then I watched a few of the games just recently. And what I find is this type of league is so good in the sense that it's capturing players that maybe won't end up in the Western Hockey League or the Ontario Hockey League, but they have an opportunity to gain a incredible education and still play at a very high level of hockey. And I think that's what the CSSHL represents out west, and of course some teams here in Ontario.
It certainly is an opportunity for players to gather the culture and the lifestyle that some would expect in a pre-junior program in terms of a hockey academy. The one thing that I noticed more prevalent in the last 4 years covering the Buffalo is the travel schedule, the planning, but also how it is a student-athlete prep program, not only at Pilot Mound, but most all programs involved in the CSSHL in terms of making sure school comes first, academics is foremost, athletics is right behind it, a 1A, 1B. But then it's got a travel schedule unlike any other for ages 15 to 18. And when you really think about that Bantam U17 age, you don't get those opportunities staying just within provinces and playing the odd showcase. The schedule is set so that you're visiting other provinces year-round. And I truly admire that about the program and about the league all over Canada.
Well, yeah, there's no question. I know we'll chat with Kevin Goodwin about it, but the league itself is designed to make better athletes, better students, and better people. I think that's what the incredible thing is about it. Obviously, U14, U16, U17, then of course in U18. This gives them an opportunity to have a chance to play high-level hockey without losing any time in their scholastic opportunities. And I think, I got to grade 12, I passed to grade 6 twice. I got very blessed to go over to Europe and play for 16 years. And I look back now, the only thing, if there is a regret, certainly is the fact that I didn't take my schooling as well. And I'll tell you what, if this opportunity would have presented itself when I was their age now, I would have definitely taken it, Theo, because I understand that not everybody's going to be blessed at playing pro hockey. Not everybody's going to be blessed maybe to get, like myself and another Winnipegger, Mark McKay, who I got to play in Germany with. You may not get those opportunities. And Theo, the other thing is that you may go into a professional career and God forsake you get hurt and everything changes. Education is so vital, so important, especially today for these young boys and girls. So I really commend the league of what they're doing. And I love the fact that they have a good management system in place and that they think elite athletes, but elite students. And I love that.
Kerry, we touched about the play on the ice. We've talked about the scholastic review. But even though, like, you and I have played this game for decades, you had a chance to go overseas. I went out east. I went down south to play and coach. The bonds you create in the dressing room are second to none and lifelong. And we heard Devana in the recent previous segment, talk about how important it is to build that culture within the locker room, and how you continue to discuss not only with players that have already graduated, but the players that are below you in age and experience, and building those bonds that are going to be lifelong. And I'm pretty sure you could tell stories of your first billet families out overseas, and I can tell you stories of the first guys I coached in LA or Atlanta, and we could go on, and the show could be 4 hours long. Kerry,
well,
talk to me a little bit about how important it is now, especially when you consider what we've gone through in a pandemic, how important it is to create the bonds not only within your own locker room, but also within the academic schooling area, and also visiting potentially the other teams. I mean, going to the Okanagan and Penticton and rural Saskatchewan and all those other places outside Calgary, for example, getting to meet and see players that are doing the same thing you are.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, thank you for that, bringing back some history. My first billets in Germany, the team was a very young team, so they had to put me up with a family for the first 3 months. The Grubensteins, Sophia and Dieter. We've lost Dieter since, but Sophia is now back. She's German, but she lives in Africa. I stay in touch with her, obviously, with these things now, with Facebook and Twitter and Twik and TikTok. I've been able to continue it. And I think one of the greatest things that come from playing professional sport, or any sport, it doesn't need to necessarily be professional. It can be exactly what's happening here at the CSSHL. You gain these bonds with people that you mentioned it's lifelong. I'm 62, and I can tell you, I still talk to all of my buddies that I played junior with in the MMJHL. I come back to Winnipeg often, and Eric Mathis of the world, Dave Weebs, just great guy, Ray Savards of the world. And I think that's what's really important to take away from this. This is not just building good hockey players or good athletes. This is not just building people that are young leaders that are going to be able to go out in the world, and if they don't play pro hockey, they become lawyers, doctors, regardless of whatever they want to be, they can become. But more importantly is those long-lasting friendships that you meet. And one of the other things I'd like to add, Theo, that you've mentioned, the opportunity to travel. I went to Germany when I was 27. I was one of those guys that kind of, Molson beer drinker, McDonald's food. I wasn't really cultured at all. And here I was getting an opportunity to go to Europe and I love red wine. I understand red wine. I eat all different types of foods from all around the world. I actually, Theo, was there when the Berlin Wall came down. The day, November 12th, 1989, I was in Berlin. And I'll tell you what, hockey has given me everything, and that's why I continue on doing it. So everybody that's listening here, whether you're a player, a coach, your dream is always there. I went over at 27, not ever thinking that I would do that. I won an Allen Cup with the Thunder Bay Twins. Somebody gave me a phone call. I thought my time was done, and there I was. Now what that's given me, Theo, is friends from around the world. Thank God we have these things that we can text and Facebook and keep them abreast. I have people in Australia, New Zealand, Africa, all over the place. I'm not bragging about that. I know a lot of people. It's just I played 16 years in Germany, and it's given me this long life friendships with so many. So I'll tell you what, make sure, and I'm going to say this to all the young students, everybody you meet today, treat with respect. Don't take this game for granted. It can change in a heartbeat. So please make sure you take every moment, enjoy everything about it, because it's fantastic, Rod.
Kerry, you couldn't have said it any better. And I mean, when you talk about the landscape of this game and what it brings to us on the ice, but more importantly, what it brings us off the ice, I'm not going to say that it grooms every player, both male and female, the same.
No.
But it certainly gives them the opportunity to explore, spread their wings, if you will, and give them that opportunity that may not have existed prior to. Pilot Mound specifically, a lot of small town areas are represented on all three teams now with the Buffalo, and even players from overseas still come find a home to play with the Buffalo of a population of 800 in the town. And a lot of other places have a little bit larger population, but more importantly, it's giving the players that opportunity that may not have had that in the past, and not squashing the dream, rather saying, you know what, we understand you have a goal, and we're going to be that place that's going to give you that platform to get to the next level. And I think that springboard is what is effective for this program, these prep academies all across Canada, because it gives them an opportunity to study, understand time management, and play a great game they love a lot more than people think.
Yes, no question. Very well said.
So, Kerry, I mean, talk about what we see in the last couple of weeks here and hope to see the rest of the regular season. How important is it for these players to get back to, for lack of a better term, a regular schedule so that they can play this game and go to school and return to that form that they've been groomed so?
Yeah, a very good point, Theo. I think it's really important to understand that as a player and as an educator now, it's really important that kids have routine. And the pandemic has certainly taken that away from them, not only for their sports, but also for their academics. And I think what we need to understand is
Graeme,
that we are so important to help guide that ship.
For in their previous years.
Yeah, I know that you froze there for a second, Gordy. So, sorry, Theo. So I was just saying that it's really important that they get back into a routine, and it gives them an opportunity to understand how to time manage not only their school work, but also their academics along the way while they're, obviously getting ready to play hockey or any sport. And that juggling act is sometimes very difficult. So I think it's really important now that we're somewhat through this pandemic, not only for the young boys and girls that are playing in these great academies, but as important for the teachers, for the coaches, and for the parents to come back with a little bit of a normal life. We hope that we see the past of this and that we're moving forward. I think that we're in a very good position. And I think being involved in an organization like the CSSHL gives you an advantage because you've already got structure with your schooling and your athletics. And so you can do it all at one facility. I think it's marvelous. Now, I know that we are frozen. I've lost Theo, and I know that we're coming back live with Gordy.
Welcome back to Blackjack Stewart Arena. Graeme Forsyth here, host on ASTV, reporter and play-by-play commentator, joined by my good friend Gordy Thompson, goalie coach and marketing director of Pilot Mound Hockey-Academy. And Gordy, a lot of shots on net for the goaltenders this weekend, a lot of action. Talk about what the feeling's like around the goaltending right now in Pilot Mound.
Well, the goalies are disappointed in giving up as many goals as we've gotten, but we're starting to have a little bit of fun with that. It's not life and death out here. It's hockey, and we're getting bombarded an awful lot, and that's okay. Our guys are learning to play under fire with a lot of shots. We're testing their fitness level, etc. So that's okay. And we're testing their ability to just hang in there, and that's something that's coming as these guys mature and grow up. They're going to have to find this anyway. You're going to play on some teams that aren't great, and you're going to get beat sometimes. And so this is all part of it. And here we are. So the battle. We have a new cry. It's a battle cry, and it's just stopping pucks until we can. And that's where we're at. So yeah, our spirits are high. We understand the deal, and we're working hard to keep as many of those shots as we can.
Talking about just the team they've been going up against, both the U17s and U15s this weekend, both going up against the Edge. How nice is it to have these boys experience playing a team with the caliber that the Edge displays?
Well, the Edge has been around forever, and they've done a great job forever marketing and bringing players in. And because they're in the Calgary area, it's a big, Alberta's a big area. And a lot of great players. So at the end of the day, it's wonderful to play them. I just wish we were a bit closer to them, but we're finding out how good you have to be a true prep player and a true prep team. So, and I congratulated their coaches. I saw them between periods and said, "Hey, way to go, good squad. We like playing you. Hopefully we can come back later on and do the same back to you maybe in January or February."
would be nice to get him back at some point, right, Gordy? But only time will tell. You're the marketing director of the academy. Talk about some of the development, some of the things that is cooking up for the marketing team here at Pilot-Mound.
Well, we've got a great marketing team for sure. With Carson McConnell and Ginger Collins and myself kind of doing that work. We work very closely with Game On Magazine, ASTV. You folks are wonderful. And we've lined up KFGO in Fargo now to do some things there. We're very obviously we have a weekly article in the Sentinel Courier, which is the local newspaper, and then of course we've got a website that's second to none, and there's lots of information for anybody interested in our programs, in particular on the recruiting side. And we have a really neat a new dormitory being built, and I'm going to let Tammie Collins, our guy, talk about that a bit later, but that's going to be unique. It's going to be neat, and it's going to be really big in a small town. So we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, Tammie Collins going to be coming on later on in the show with either Seth or Cody. Not sure who's going to be interviewing Tammie yet, but just talking about it, the marketing, just how huge of a role it's played. Of course, you guys are not only covered by us, but some other media outlets. Just speak about the pride you have in being the marketing director and seeing how the academy has grown to where it's at today.
The academy's, the marketing program is really sort of blossomed here in the last couple of years. Not because of me, just because we've kind of looked really hard at what we can do to promote the teams and the town, and most importantly the education and the hockey part of our program. And so telling people and getting into people's homes and the hockey players' homes really been fun. It's a hard job, and it's a very personal job. Even though marketing is kind of a hit here and a hit there on social media and getting people to look at a website. Talking to people on the phone, talking to them in arenas is important. All those kinds of things. That's marketing, and so we're all working at it very hard. Our coaches work at it all the time. Certainly, I work at it, and the rest of the folks here in our organization, Pilot Mound. So it's a big job. It's fun, and we're getting some pretty nice results.
Well, like in hockey, it doesn't only take one player, it takes a whole team, and it's great to know that you, along with other members in the academy, all come together to do what you guys do here. Thanks, Gordy, for joining us here on the ASTV production CSSHL Game of the Month 2-hour pregame show. We'll talk soon for sure.
Thanks, Graeme. Appreciate that.
Graeme Forsyth here from ASTV Productions. We're going to throw it to a commercial break, then we'll be back with Theo and Kerry here on the ASTV Productions CSSHL Game of the Month.
Hey, we're back.
Well, I did come in clutch because I didn't even really notice anything.
How do we, I see we got a little bit of a lag. I'm assuming I am back with the CSSHL president. Is it Kevin Goodwin?
Yes, it is Kevin Goodwin. My official title is actually the Chief Operating Officer, but happy to be here, Kerry, and nice to be speaking with you today.
Well, I apologize for that. Listen, I want to commend you first on such a great organization. I was made aware of it about 2 weeks ago. I'm really good friends with Scott Taylor from Game On Magazine. I'm sure you know Scotty. I had the opportunity, Kevin, I don't know if you know it, but I played in Manitoba. I was born and raised in Winnipeg, came through the St. Boniface Saints organization, played for the St. Boniface Reals in the MMJHL, and also had a little bit of a stint in the Cash League far before your time, I'm sure, but won an Allen Cup in Thunder Bay and had a chance to travel over to Europe. And what I see what you're doing in this organization is that you have a vision to establish a league that gives players that may believe that education is as important as being a good hockey player. And that's what I love. Talk to us about that vision.
You know what? I'll be honest, Kerry. That is my complete vision, or our complete vision. We want our kids and our student athletes to succeed, not just on the ice. We want them to succeed within their communities. We want them to succeed being good sports, and we want them to succeed in their academics. And we understand that not everyone's an A student, for example. And we understand that academic potential is, are you getting all your assignments in? Are you getting extra help when you need it? Are you giving it your all in your classes? And if you are, that's your potential. But what we want these kids to do is to leave these organizations, and whether it's moving on to the workforce or moving on to university or moving on to junior hockey or whatever their path may be, it's that they're going to be good people. They're going to know how to manage their time. They're going to know how to deal with difficult situations because they receive so much support from academic advisors in these programs. They receive so much support from their coaches, and they're monitored constantly. They, for programs that have kids in billet houses, those kids are constantly getting feedback from everyone. And that's what I love about it. The kids have all the support in the world to push it as far as they can. And it doesn't have to be hockey. Whatever their pathway is, that's what we want them to succeed at.
Well, that's fantastic. As the chief operating officer, your responsibilities are plenty, of course. You look at the management aspect of it, new initiatives, obviously the administration of the CSSHL, but you also must love the game. Sorry about that, tongue-tied. So with the CSSHL, there's got to be more than just that, because you love hockey. So talk to us about that role, and then obviously being a hockey fan.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone involved in hockey has to love the game. It is. It's not a typical 9-to-5 job, as you well know, Kerry. It is. You're on 24/7, 365. Things may slow down at parts of the year, but you're always going, and that's something that my wife and my family have learned over the years for sure.
Oh yeah.
So, the great part about my role is you get to see the product on the ice, which is fantastic. But again, I put so much pride into pushing our coaches and our programs to make the kids successful off the ice. In my role, I'm dealing with everything from talking from people to Hockey Canada to the different provincial governing bodies like Hockey Manitoba, right down to the ownerships of programs to everything. So I'll deal with anything from discipline to league policies to AGM stuff. It's pretty much anything to do with anything. So it's a pretty vast position for sure.
Well, what's really cool is you just mentioned Hockey Manitoba, so I want you to make sure next time you're talking to my good friend Peter Woods, please say hello to him. He does great work.
I love Peter. He's a good man.
He is, absolutely. Every time I get back to Winnipeg, I obviously have a chance to go and eat some Chinese food with him. He loves Chinese food. Hey, listen, talk to us a little bit more about the expectations of a family coming and getting involved with your organization, that they want to see their child. Obviously, there's a balance that you put in it. And I say it more than just being a good student, a good athlete, but also after it all, they have to be good people. So talk to me about when a family comes in and talks to you and your organization, how you're able to show them that that's what the primary platform is, that you're never going to, we don't want you to escalate to 75% hockey and only 20% education and then 5% being a good person. You want to try and have that equilibrium.
Yeah, so every one of our members are what's called a Hockey Canada accredited school or a Hockey Canada school with residence. And as such, they've gone through a very vigorous, detailed approval process through, in your case, Hockey Manitoba and Pilot Mound. So Hockey Manitoba and Hockey Canada have looked at Pilot Mound, looked at their situation, reviewed their application, understood their beliefs and value systems, their schooling aspect, how the day-to-day will look, what the staffing will look like and all that stuff. So from my perspective, all these programs coming into our league have already been gone through a very rigorous process. My job is to make sure that all of our programs are still on top of those value systems. And that's stuff that I push down right to the coaches. So it's really program by program. But I'm the guy that's obviously pushing our value systems. Our mission statement is to be national leaders in education-based hockey. So we want the kids to be successful. We want the kids to, push themselves, and we want all of that. And that's what the programs are pushing, or not pushing. That's what the programs are informing the parents of. This is what makes this different. This is different than your regular minor hockey stream. All these kids that attend these schools have to go to the same school. So every single kid in Pilot Mound or the Rink Academy in Winnipeg or the St. Mary's Academy in Winnipeg, they all have to attend the same school. And part of that is there's an education advisor that's monitoring every single student athlete that's involved with that program. And if a student starts to slip, they're held accountable. They miss training, they miss ice time, they get tutors, all of that stuff. So, the other part that I love about the programs is most kids are home by supper time. Home every night. They have the time to worry about their academics. I'll use this as an example. I, obviously live in a neighborhood, and the other night there's a 16-year-old across the street. He's throwing his gear into the car at 9 o'clock at night to go to hockey practice, and my kid's about to go to bed. And he's 16. So, he's going to do a lot better academically in the morning, and he has the time at night to deal with his academic side of it. And it creates a different lifestyle for these kids and these families. It really and truly does.
Well, it gives them an opportunity to interact with the family too. I can only remember getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning, skating out at the Wenatchee Community Club at -40. And then later that night, I'd be at the Maginot Arena at 7. While my sister and brother were eating dinner with my parents, I was on the ice. So it does create some conflict. But I'll tell you what you were doing, obviously, as the chief operating officer for the CSSHL is amazing. Can't thank you enough, Kevin. I look forward to following it more. Now that I understand exactly what you're doing, I will be a big fan and be watching a lot of the games. So thank you for being a part of our show today.
Well, great speaking with you, Kerry, and feel free to reach out anytime.
All right. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Back here at Blackjack Stewart Arena, Graeme Forsyth here for ASTV Productions with the general manager of Pilot Mound Hockey-Academy, the man that makes it all happen, Rod Collins. Rod, a lot of excitement around the academy this year. I've talked to you about this before a bit, but we'll touch on it again. Adding a U15 male prep team, how huge was that for the academy to get this rolling this season with that team?
Well, that was huge for us, and it not forced us into, but helped us prepare by building our dorms and more space for kids. And down the road, we're looking at a U18 team, but we're very excited to have that U15 team because it'll also be a feeder for our older teams moving forward as the kids develop at that age. So we're quite excited with that to go along with our U17 prep.
Just this academy, of course, you and your brothers founded it. You said that you saw the opportunity here in Pilot Mound to add an academy, with the facility and stuff. Just looking at it after all these years with what's happened, of course, the U17s winning a championship back in 2019, 2020, the female team making it to a championship as well. Just how pleased are you with how the academy has come to grow to what it is today?
Well, we're very pleased. Every year is a new challenge, obviously, but when I look on the wall ahead of us here, I see all the championship banners. So in the 7 short years, or in our 7th year, we've been very successful, and we're looking forward to developing this group of players on our 3 teams to become more competitive. We've started slowly, but that's something that's happened before, so we just stick with our plan, our coaching, and develop these kids. And more importantly, this year I really like our group of kids. They're good kids, they're willing to learn, but they got good character, good standing, good students, which is huge for us. And I think that's a big thing. We can always teach them the game, but sometimes we run into a few problems with personalities, but no, we're very pleased with this group, and we look forward to getting more competitive as we move on.
Let's talk about the people here at Pilot Mound. Of course, yourself being a general manager, you got Rick McConnell, head coach of the U17 team. Brad Platt, head coach of the U18 team. Kyle Nixon, head coach of the U15s. Just talk about the staff in general, along with all the other people that make Pilot Mound Hockey Academy what it is.
Well, the staff you just mentioned are obviously buy into my theory of coaching, and it's about development. It's about development and being patient at times, which we've had to be. And so we're very pleased with our staff. And I haven't been participating in too many practices. I was out this morning with the girls, of course. So we really focus on skill development and try and drive that competitive nature into them as well. And hopefully at that point that they'll make something of themselves. And our record has spoken for itself in the past with all our girls going to college opportunities and several boys in junior every year. I think there's several playing in the Manitoba Junior right now, as a matter of fact. And so that is our goal, and that's if we can develop good character kids with good hockey skills, we've done our job.
Talking about the challenges of getting kids to want to come here, because of course this isn't your typical small town, Pilot Mound, Manitoba. What have been the challenges that the Academy has faced throughout the years of getting talent to come here and play for Pilot Mound, selling them on this idea of this Academy?
Well, that's why I'm standing here with you for one reason, and promoting our program and getting the word out there. We are a small town. We have all the amenities here, obviously, that we need, and we have the facility, of course,
yep,
and the coaching staff. So we get the word out there. But more importantly, is the players we develop. As we go on, these kids that have been here are going to spread the word for us as well. If we got a girl playing D1 down in Long Island, New York, the word is spread for us. If we got a boy playing in North Battleford, Saskatchewan, the word spreads for us. So we work hard at it. Gordy works extremely hard at marketing our program for us. But a program has to sell itself. And it sells itself by being successful with kids moving on to brighter futures in the game.
So moving forward here, what are going to be some of the things that you'd like to see the Academy kind of go into and adding some things? Of course, you talked about wanting to add another U18 team, but talk about some other stuff potentially.
Well, obviously, and I think my brother Tammie's going to speak on the dorm side of it. We're putting a lot of money into an extravagant dorm dining lounge area, which will serve us well.
Yeah.
And obviously, I think we have everything pretty much in place here. We have buses, we have travel, we have great cooks, we've got great food. We try and keep a nutritional menu for our kids and treat them like their family, which is huge for us. They're not just another kid in here where we're putting a number behind them to pay the bills. We want each one of those kids to be successful. And I've been at Shattuck, and I've been at Notre Dame, and I've been at Wenatchee, and it seems like the masses pay for the few that win, and I don't care for that too much.
Well, family, developing players, just among some of the great things that this Academy does. Rod, thanks for joining me here on the CSSHL Game of the Month pregame show here on ASTV Productions. Nice to talk to you.
Thank you, Graeme.
We're going to now go to a pre-recorded interview that I had a chance to do on Thursday. I sat down with former Pilot Mound Hockey Academy U17 captain and now alumni Brett Deterren. Brett is now in OCN, playing for the OCN Blizzard in the MJHL. I had a chance to catch up with him, ask him a bit about how OCN is going, and mostly about Pilot Mound Hockey Academy. Enjoy. Joining the broadcast now on our CSSHL Game of the Month coverage is Pilot Mound Hockey Academy alumni Brett Deterren. Brett plays for the OCN Blizzard now in the MJHL. He's joining me on this Thursday evening, 2 days before the game that we're going to be covering tonight on ASTV Productions. But Brett, how's it going? Nice to have you here. How have things been with you and OCN this season?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me. Things been good. It's good to make the switch to junior hockey finally, and I think I'm where I belong right now, and I'm having a great time.
Moving into Pilot Mound now, you've had a chance to have a career there where you ended up winning a championship, had a chance to captain that team. Looking back at it now, with you being a year removed from the program, being an OCN now, what is it like for you now reflecting on your time that you spent with the Pilot Mound Hockey-Academy Buffaloes?
I think it really helped me for junior because first of all, the moving away aspect. Um, it wasn't such a big transition for me to be able to move away from home because I've done it for three previous years, and just skating every day, I'm used to that, so it wasn't that big of a deal when we're skating sometimes twice a day here. So I think that made that switch a lot easier, just coming from doing that for 3 years now, and the working out. We've been working out on our own for a couple weeks now, and it's great to have a gym. Like Pilot Mound had a gym, and we got to use it whenever we needed to use it. So keeping on the workout regimen too. So the routine is very similar, practice wise and game wise. So I like to keep my game day routine the same, and I think I got a good routine from being at Pilot Mound, knowing what to do away from home. So I think that helped me out quite a lot. And for the playing aspect, I think I really found out what kind of player I was there, playing so many minutes and coming from a team that we were a winning team. I think I have the experience of knowing what it takes to win, and hopefully I can bring that to the table when I come to play for this OCN Blizzard this year.
For the people that aren't quite as familiar with Pilot Mound Hockey-Academy, of course, ASTV Productions has been covering them for a very long time now. But for the people, tuning into this broadcast, maybe parents out there looking to send their kids to an academy, why do you think Pilot Mound should be that next place for, parents to send their kids to continue their development in hockey?
Okay, yeah, so Pilot Mound is a great community. It's one of those communities where everybody is really buying into the program, and everybody supports the team, and the school supports the team, and it's not a very big community, so it's not that hard to get used to and settled in. And the program that the Collins have built there, still building. They're not done. They have teams that are being added to the organization just this year, and I think if you want to send your kid away somewhere where they can develop and learn to be young men and women, growing up playing hockey and hopefully getting somewhere in the future, I think it's a great decision. It's well worth it, and I think it helped me in the long run. So, good idea.
Talking about values, of course, talking about responsibility as well as some other things. Talk about the values that were instilled in you during your time in Pilot Mound Hockey-Academy in terms of how those values really helped shape you into the hockey player you are now.
I'd say I came into Pilot Mound not knowing exactly what kind of hockey player I was, and I have never moved away from home before, so I think going there just made me a bit more responsible and kind of more knowing of what I need to do and kind of take responsibility for my actions. And for the playing hockey side of things, I think just going there and becoming a better hockey player is now what I've done, and I've been through that program, so all I can do is build off that and hopefully keep climbing up the hockey ladder, become pro hockey player one day.
Of course, you don't know the ins and the outs of the opposition, the edge in this game tonight, but just from your experience of playing against them in the past, what would you, recommend? What would your advice be to the players in the game for the U17s going out tonight in terms of them going for that W against the edge?
I would say play like you can and stick to the game plan. Don't try to do too much just because of what this team has been talked up about. Just play hard, play physical, play fast, and move the puck, because if you're moving the puck, you'll open space and create space for opportunities to be born, and I'd say just come out and play hockey, man.
From Brett to Taryn Best, a guy that's won a championship for the U17s. Just go out and play hockey, boys. That's what they'll be looking to do tonight in that third matchup in the CSSHL game of the month here on ASTV Productions between the Buffaloes and the Edge School U17 Prep. We're going to throw it to a commercial break, and coming back, we're going to hear from Tammie Collins about the new expansion in the dorms here on ASTV Productions. The CSSHL game of the month, 2-hour pregame show.
Welcome to Pilot Mound Hockey-Academy, your world-class academic and hockey training facility created to maximize each student's athletic and academic potential. Blackjack Stewart Arena, home of the Buffalo, is inside the 46,000 square foot complex, as well as a curling rink and other facilities. The students have a unique combination of successful, well-rounded education at Pilot Mound Collegiate Institute and the professional hockey training in an encouraging community. The years of experience of on-ice coaching propel our students to the next level, both mentally and physically, in a professional environment.
Welcome back to ASTV Productions of the CSSHL Game of the Month. I'm here with Tammie Collins. Tammie, you're in charge, the chairman of the board for Pilot Mound here. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'm chairman of the board for now. I am a shareholder along with my brother Rod and brother Doug and their families. That's the ownership, and they put me in the chair position, I guess, for now.
All right. We were talking a little bit about these new dorms that are going to be going up. Tell me a little bit about that process.
Yep, we're building a huge building in the size of Pilot Mound area, 7,300 square foot building, and that's only phase one. There's 3 more phases after that, and it's a common area. It's consists of a full basement, full main 7,300 square foot main floor, and then an upper floor as well with a mezzanine type of thing that looks around the common area, which is going to be quite attractive and quite inviting for young hockey players.
Sure thing. How far is the construction so far on this new building?
We're just in the middle of digging the basement right now, so it's going to be a winter project, which works well for farmers and other people, tradespeople in the area, and that's what our goal is, to use all local people to build it, so wintertime works good for us.
For sure. Always using the community that kind of supports you is always good to kind of support them as well. So far, Pilot Mound has been off to a bit of a slow start. How do you see the team kind of growing as the season progresses?
Well, that's what we're all about. That's what this academy is all about. It's about taking players, and no matter what their level is making them better and making them to be the best they can be. Not only in hockey, but in school and as a human being too. So if they struggle at the start, we're going to judge our accomplishments by how good they are at the end and how they progress and the speed at which they progress. So we're fine with what's going on.
For sure. And what kind of separates Pilot Mound from some of the other prep schools around the league?
It's extremely simple, and nobody else can duplicate it. And it's we care. We care about every individual. We care about every young player that comes into our program. We care about how well we progress them in hockey, where we take them to the next level, where they go after they're done. We care about their schooling. We care about them as a human being. By Christmas time, we have a bunch of new kids this year. By Christmas time, I will even know, and I don't have much involvement in the academy day to day, but I will know every child that's with us. So the difference between, we don't treat our kids like pieces of meat. They are human beings, and we're going to create better human beings when they leave here. That's the difference between us and other for-profit hockey academies.
For sure. Kind of sounds like you guys really live by the kind of opening values that the CSSHL kind of had with, not just developing players, but you kind of sounds like you guys here want to develop human beings too. You want to raise good people. So
that's right, and we have the environment to do that here. The small town environment where everybody's watching these kids, everybody respects these kids in the whole community. So that takes a small town to make a child. Well, we are providing the small town.
Right. So, what kind of amenities? We're going to dive back into the dorms a bit there. What kind of amenities are all going to be in the new building?
Well, mostly the amenities are what we're building right now is called the common area. So it'll have the kitchen, of course, in the eating area, and the mezzanine that's around it, and offices and stuff. And then later on, we're going to be building the sleeping quarters and stuff. But it's going to be an environment that the eating area, for an example, is going to be nice and bright and clean and neat for eating. And then we could take it right into a dance, and we'll maybe have prom dances there or something. We will have. So it's going to be a multifunctional, good thing for young people.
Right. That sounds like a good program we're trying to build here. These dorms, this kind of as a preemptive to expand even more yet? I know we added the U15 program this year. They're kind of a little bit more for plans to expand yet more?
Absolutely. So the entire plan of these dorms is to actually house 6 teams. Right now we're currently 3, and of course whenever you build, you have to build for full expansion, right? And so we do hope at some point that we get to say that around that 6-team level, and that building that we're building right now will accommodate that, and that's our goals. Whether it happens in the next 5 years or in the next 10 years, I'm not sure, but we always want to grow, we always want to get better, and really what we're doing is, I should full disclosure, I'm a farmer, I'm an electrician, I'm a hotel business owner. I got into this because my brother had a passion for young people and making them better hockey players, and that passion is what we're doing, and it's such a feel-good business. If we call it a business, it's a feel-good business because you're doing something really good for young people and making them better people. So it really tugs on your heart. You don't need to make money at this business. You just need to make good kids better.
For sure. It seems like the program really is, there for its players. That's something you always kind of want to, especially while we're showcasing Pilot Mound here today. That's something you want to really drive home. Is just kind of the community feel with this team, and just feels like kind of like a family. Feels like everybody, right from the upper management. You had said that your brother was part of the board as well, and kind of feels like the whole family atmosphere works its way down from the top up.
It is totally a full family. My son-in-law, he looks after the spring hockey program. My daughter is involved. She's got 6-7 bullets at her house right now. She's involved with the day-to-day operation. My 2 daughters went to schools before and were away from home, so they communicate with these kids and help the the homesickness, help the nutrition ideas, so many things that we are involved in as a community and as a family to make this a better place for these young people to be.
For sure. Let's see.
The community aspect to it too is pretty good. We started this because we had a beautiful rink, and it wasn't used enough. So the Hockey Academy fits that. It rents a lot of ice. The school was lacking enrollment. Well, there's another good fit. So the whole thing, whether it's community, school, arena, doing things for young kids, is a win-win-win for the whole community and for the people that we bring into our program.
For sure. It sounds like kind of growing the community from the school out will help. You know, the town as itself kind of can help it grow with some of the businesses having more parents coming in to watch their kids. You know, can help stimulate some of the economy, and you know, it sounds like we got a great program here, and want to thank you for coming on today with me and telling us a little bit about the new upcoming dorm plan. We're going to throw it to a commercial here. I'm Cody Wall with ASTV, here with Tammie Collins. Thank you again, Tammie.
You're welcome.
At Collins Hotel, we have you and your family's comfort in mind. Relax in one of our 16 suites featuring king or queen size beds and 36-inch TVs. Suites also include a mini fridge and other kitchen appliances to make your stay as comfortable as possible. During your stay in Pilot Mound, visit Weiser's Restaurant, our attached family-friendly restaurant and bar. It is the perfect location to host group meals, dine with the family, or unwind after a hockey game. Come in and meet our friendly staff offering daily specials on food and drinks, wing night Wednesdays, buffet Fridays, and multiple TVs to watch the game. Weiser's is the place to be. Collins Hotel and Weiser's Restaurant and Bar.
All right, welcome back to Pilot Mound, Manitoba here. We are going to be throwing it to an interview, a pre-recorded interview that my colleague Graeme had done with Edge coach, the U17 prep. I hope you enjoy.
You're good.
Here with Rob Miller, head coach of the Edge School U17 prep team playing here this weekend in Pilot Mound. Coach, just a little bit about yourself. Who is Coach Rob Miller?
Kind of lifelong coach right at the moment. Finished my hockey career and missed being around the boys and traveling and that sort of thing. And so, you know, got an opportunity with one of my former coaches to step in and be an assistant coach at a young age and work with some Bantam kids and just loved it. You know, being around them every day and teaching them and working with them has been a dream all along. You know, it's been a great experience. So just progressed through the years and lucky enough to have landed the job at the Edge, working with another great group of kids.
Talk about just the opportunities this academy offers to the players out here.
Edge definitely has a tremendous program, unbelievable facilities. So when I toured, when I was interviewing, to see the workout facilities, the ice is right there. The school's amazing facility. So it's kind of, as a recruitment tool, especially, you know, the kids are in awe when they come. They see the workout, the gym that they have, and everything there. So it's an excellent experience, definitely, to be part of.
What's the schedule like in week-to-week, day-to-day type of basis?
What's blown me away is the dedication of the athletes at the team. I mean, there's mornings we're in the gym at 7, practice 8:45. They're off there. They're at school. A lot of them will come and work out in the gym after school ends. So hectic day, definitely. You add in the travel of bus rides and plane rides, and it's definitely takes a dedicated student to follow through on their schoolwork as well. So very impressive.
Yeah, for sure. And what's been impressive is you guys' two performances so far this weekend against the Pilot Mound Hockey-Academy U17 male prep team, a 9-0 win yesterday and a 9-1 win today, this morning in the game that we covered this morning. Just what's impressed you so much about this team so far this year from what you've seen from this group of boys?
We've got a strong offensive talent, very good puck-moving defenseman. The last trip, we didn't really get a good example. Those were our first couple of games. So the two games here have been good to see just the cohesiveness, the camaraderie that the team has already. I joined the team kind of late, so it was formed, and so to step in and try to figure out all the personalities, it's been a good weekend away to see. Happy with actually both teams of discipline. Games of that caliber, they get up high. You never know what can happen, but I think both teams have been very respectful out there, and it's been hard fought. I don't think the score reflects, overall the games that have happened.
Well, we got another one coming up here for our CSSHL game of the month tonight between your team, the Edge School U17 Prep Boys, taking on the Pilot Mound Hockey-Academy U17 Male Prep Buffaloes. Thanks for taking the time, Robin.
Thank you. Have a good night.
That was Rob Miller, head coach of the Edge School U17 Prep hockey team. Of course, they're here in Pilot Mound, Manitoba this weekend to take on the Pilot Mound Hockey-Academy U17 Male Prep Buffaloes. Graeme Forsyth back here with Cody Wall and Seth Rock. And boys, we're just over an hour from game time here, the big CSSHL game of the month coming up between Pilot Mound and the Edge. What do you think the excitement is going to be like, from just the fans in the stands getting to see this game tonight?
Well, I think with extra attention to this game, it will be it'll be interesting to see how much notoriety this game gets around the league. With us broadcasting it, you'd like to see some of these guys get a little extra attention throughout the league.
Oh yeah, it's always good for the players to get that extra attention, like you said, and for having fans in the stands. We haven't had them in a while, and when you see all that and you score a goal in front of a huge crowd, it just always feels so good. Even if they're booing you, it's still, there's fans there and the atmosphere is there, and it just feels great in general.
Yeah, this morning I noticed, I took a look around the crowd. I forgot to mention it in the game, but there was quite a few people here. Early morning watching the game, so, Saturday night, you're in Pilot Mound, Manitoba. What better way to end off your Saturday evening than coming and watching the local hockey team, the Pilot Mound Buffaloes, the U17s. We've talked about it so much, about Pilot Mound's struggles this weekend, but more of the Edge's strengths. A lot of great players on that Edge team. Who are some players that you guys are going to be looking for to continue to put up numbers for this Edge team in tonight's game?
Looking to see some of the same guys that were leading the team last year. Not last year, I apologize. Last night and this morning. Koch was he was a key player for the Edge in both their victories, managing to get a number of points.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he's my player to watch for that game as well. He has all these creative styles and ways he plays the game. He has all these little things that make him better. Especially his offensive awareness is something you really need to pay attention to when watching him play.
Yeah, not only Koch, but Callahassan, the captain, Ashton Gallagher. The list goes on and on for the Edge, the type of players that they have. But, talking about Pilot Mound, we've seen some good things, but in very short sample sizes from them this weekend. I talked to Rick McConnell earlier today, and he said that he hasn't liked this team's, effort level at times this weekend so far. In a game like this where you got such a short turnaround, like last night, but doing it again tonight, deja vu, a word that I feel like we've been using so much on the network. As a coach, as a staff, as a team, how do you truly come back and come out to play against a team that's blown you out already twice this weekend?
The biggest thing is not to think about it as, turn the page on last night and this morning's game. That'd be the biggest thing. Is it's a new game. The score is 0-0 to start. Really, nobody has an advantage. It'll be just start fresh, forget about yesterday's game, but also learn from some of the mistakes that had happened yesterday. But yeah, overall, maybe want to forget some of the outcome, but just kind of learn from some of the mistakes.
Yeah, for me, it's Pilot Mound I think needs to come out a little more aggressive. We know there's some guys on there that can really throw the body. Like I've mentioned him a few times in the few of the games I've done with you, Graeme. Izzy Amy, he can really throw the body. He's one of those guys I think in a game with a really skilled team.
Oh,
like
100%.
Yeah, you look to those guys who can really throw the body and show physical side, and then your offensive players can come in and score once those guys have been kind of neutralized by some of your stronger players and defensive players.
Well, you had mentioned Izzy Amy. I remember earlier this morning he was definitely playing physical out there. He had thrown that big reverse hit right in front of us in our earlier broadcast, and looked for him to probably do a little bit more of that. He is not a small guy. He's got a wide frame and definitely has some power to throw his body around.
And if you guys were wondering why I was chuckling a bit, it's just we got so many people trying to get by here, ducking down the cameras, so I wasn't laughing at what these boys were saying. Great insight, as always. But one thing that I think Pilot Mound needs to find is that second gear, because when they've gotten their momentum, it looks like the edge kind of, backed off a bit, and then the edge put into gear again. How is Pilot Mound going to respond after, giving up a goal? Are they going to punch it into that second edge? Are they going to find another gear? It's all questions that I think are going to be up in the air tonight for Pilot Mound. I think something that they also want to improve on is, continue to compete for the full 60 minutes.
For sure, Graeme. They're going to want to keep all the momentum that, little bits of momentum that they have garnered over the last 2 games here. They're going to think back on that and try to build off of it. One thing I know we had kind of talked about was it looked like they were kind of pressuring it up the boards, but they'll be looking to kind of avoid some of that.
Also, since it's their second game today, I do believe that both teams are going to be kind of tired. We're not going to see 100% skating out there. Obviously, they're going to be giving it their all, but they're not going to be at their max capacity that they were earlier today when they played. So I think Pilot Mound should really try to take advantage of that, since they may not have as skilled players as this edge team, but maybe really, really, really press, and like I said before, play that physical style. Play hard on the forecheck in your own zone. Make sure you're covering it up and covering up all angles, and just make sure you're out there stopping all their players.
Well, boys, we're going to leave it there for Pilot Mound because we do need to save some content for the pregame show here coming up before the game tonight. Of course, that game going at 7 p.m. But let's talk about some upcoming games. Cody, what do you got for us, the upcoming games here on the network?
So it looks like we got a Pembina Valley Hawks game on October 23rd there at 5:15. Sorry, I apologize. We have a game with the Swift Current Wildcats on October 20th at 8 p.m. They're going to be versing the Rebels, followed in the next days with Pembina Valley Hawks game on the 23rd. I knew that one was coming up soon. That game is going to be versus the Avros at 5:15 in Morden. And then looks like we got another Wildcat game on that same day at 7:45 versus the Bears. And then to close out the weekend, we got a pair of games. First, the Wildcats play the Bears at 11:15 on the 24th, followed up by the Pembina Valley Hawks playing the Interlake Lightning at 2:30 on the 24th.
Well, lots of exciting coverage coming up here on the network. I can't wait for the games. I'm going to do play-by-play for those. Of course, not the Swift Current game because they're out in Saskatchewan. I won't make that road trip, obviously. But the games, the Pembina Valley Hawks We got some kids running by here now, getting in the way of the shot. We're going to close it off now. To everyone that's tuned in to the CSSHL Game of the Month 2-hour pregame show, myself, Graeme Forsyth, along with Cody Wall and Seth Rach, want to thank you for tuning in. We talked to a lot of great people, talked to the great people here at Pilot Mound, and even heard from the coach from the Edge, as well as the commissioner from the CSSHL, Kevin Goodwin. We're going to sign off now. This concludes our 2-hour pregame special here for the CSSHL Game of the Month on ASTV Productions. We'll see you at Puck Drop for the CSSHL Game of the Month tonight against the Pilot-Mound Hockey-Academy U17 Male Prep Buffaloes, taking on the Edge School U17 Prep. Graeme Forsyth along with Cody Wall and Seth Rach signing off now. See you guys soon.